was a lengthy discussion around exactly where the compromise lay. Initially, we'd thought this would be very much just around the DOI and exploring the promenade scheme. What's obviously happened when we've gone for oral evidence is there's been a very, very clear number of feedbacks from lots of different businesses around the impact that they're having very much on their business, which really does stretch into the DFE angle, looks at the impact, the longer term impact on tourism potentially for the next 2 years and potentially beyond that, because those people will be deciding when they bring a tour group, will they come back? And I think it's very important that we're able to look at that side of what's going on and the impact of the promenade scheme, as well as the actual detail around the scheme itself.
So it could be quite damaging in the future. You've been down on the promenade this morning with Mr. Robert Shaw, amongst others. What were you doing there?
So we're trying to have a look and just work out when notices come out, exactly what impact they're going to have, talking to businesses. We're getting feedback from businesses. They're being very proactive, obviously, in communicating with us, both as the local MHKs, but also with the committee work that's gone on, and really trying to keep that conversation very much open, both with the people affected, but also with DOI and with the My Prom team, as well as DFE, Treasury, and the wider group of people engaged in that now.
It has been suggested to me it would have been better to do it, as had been suggested, in small dribs and drabs over a period of, say, about 10 years. Is that your view?
I think that what I'm trying to understand is how we got to the plan we have right now. So there was talk when this was first brought to Tynwald, when Minister Harmer stood up, he discussed the idea that this could be done in a year and just shut the whole promenade, but equally we could do this in phases and we could minimise the impact. I'm trying to understand exactly how we got to where we are now, where we seem to be little phases. We're doing it in the land side, the middle of the road and the seaward side. So in theory, every single business will be affected 3 times.
So there's no master plan that you've seen?
Well, I certainly haven't seen, and certainly the outline of plans on the My Prom website, by their own admission, is already out of date because of the delays. And I think that's a real key aspect of this, is the businesses don't know when it's going to affect their business, which means there's no opportunity to plan, there's no opportunity to tell their customers and to pre-warn. And I think, it really is forewarned is forearmed. If you can go to customers and explain that there's going to be a challenge, but tell them where the parking will be, tell them where they'll access, and be very proactive with that information, I think people have a greater deal of sympathy with the situation they face. The businesses can't do that because they don't have the information.
Businesses have said it's hit their business hard, but the question, I suppose, is they give a figure. I suppose you have to verify that if there's compensation. And where does that compensation come from? From a rates rebate? From the government? Where?
It's one of the things that we're certainly wanting to look at on a wider scale. We've had a number of people communicate with us, not just people who are actually directly affected, but other people saying that would there not be an option to look at a scheme similar to has happened in agriculture in the past, when something of this nature has really profoundly affected an ability of a business to make their normal amount of money that enables them to keep trading. That's something we want to explore, certainly within the project impact assessment. Something I picked up on in the oral evidence session was that, in fact, one of the things specified was around a rates rebate. It seems that even that's not happening. Douglas Council have obviously come out saying that it's not for them to be involved with that. They want to, certainly there be support for businesses, but not in terms of a rates rebate. And yet that's actually listed there in the project impact assessment, that there should be information provided to businesses around a rates rebate. I know that some businesses are seeking to go before the Rates Commission for an actual review of their rates, but obviously there's no guarantee as to what the outcome will be, and that's not a scheme that covers everyone. The time that's needed for a very small business to pull together all the information can seem daunting, and I think it should be far more proactive from government, and it does need a cross-departmental review. It needs DFE involved, it needs DOI involved, Treasury, and it needs the wider support of Tynwald to recognise that actually the brand new promenade will only be a positive thing if there's businesses there to go to.